Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Good news for Klal Yisrael, for the anti-Semitism in America. Be'ezer Hashem. I said Be'ezer Hashem. Thank you. This is very, very good news today. Yesterday we opened up registration for all those who were at the Shabbaton last year. The demand is crazy. All those who were there last year and didn't receive a special code, please get in touch, because today we are opening registration for everyone else. Here it goes, Rabbi Isai.
Many people here have experienced a Shabbos of their lifetime. A Shabbos of chizuk, a Shabbos of achdus.
Good for Rabbi Isai. If not, we'll have to do this again. So Rabbi Isai, look out later on today, Be'ezer Hashem, registration will open. I believe that the rooms will be sold out fairly quickly. So Chaparain and I didn't put in, but we have those sponsors I was supposed to put in. Somebody sponsored anonymously a nice donation, the covered Avi Kamiansky, the Shabbaton. So we have a few more sponsors, Baruch Hashem. Still looking for sponsors. There are people from Eretz Yisrael that would like to fly in and join. If anybody wants to help out with that, we're looking for sponsors for that. But Be'ezer Hashem, it's promising to be, I got to schmooze with you. Promises to be.
Maybe Kenny wants to give a plane, charter a plane.
Kenny
Rosenberg?
Oh.
You should speak to him. Does he do it?
I don't do that. Maybe if you know him, you could speak to him. But yeah.
Special chartered flight.
Or it might be cheaper just to do one here in Eretz Yisrael. You never know. Dear Rav Eli, I wanted to share some insightful thoughts on the topic we've been learning about, which might be of particular interest. And I'm reading this. It doesn't mean this is the halacha. It's just to open one's mind and ask the Rav. I recently spoke to a friend in Manchester, Reb Chaya Klein, who's not only a legal professional in the area of wills, but also specializes in the halachic aspects of estate planning. He works closely with families, helping them set up wills that respect both halachic and legal considerations, and offers guidance to ensure everything is properly arranged. During our conversation, we discussed the nuanced approach to inheritance as prescribed by halacha. He mentioned that while every family should consider leaving a small amount extra for the eldest, like a token pishnaim kind of thing, and a little more for the boys than the girls, what he shared next was truly eye-opening. He recounted a case where a client intended to allocate a significantly larger share to his sons over his daughters. This client sought guidance from a well-respected Pesach in Manchester and was told in the name of Rav Vosner Zitzal that not only is there no additional hiddur in giving more to the sons beyond the small customary amount, but that it is actually expected as a matter of menschlichkeit to treat daughters and sons equally when distributing one's estate. Again, I don't know, I'm just reading this. In fact, the Pesach emphasized that a person who does not leave an equal share for his daughters is not considered a mensch. This could be contrary to halacha. Ask your Rav. This perspective profoundly shifted my understanding of how equity and fairness are viewed in the context of halachic wills. Yishkoach Gershi Rose. Kiddush Hashem alert, Lakewood Rav Eli. You spread the light of Torah across continents quite literally. I was at the border after midnight crossing from France back into the UK. There's a long queue, in parentheses, line, waiting to board the Eurostar train. I got out of my car to stretch a little after a long drive. I walked past the car in line. A few in the line a few ahead of my car were two of your Talmidim, Menachem Levine from London and Mati Halberstam from Golders Green, London, blasting your shear Edgeware and Golders Green, blasting your shear at 12:45 a.m., steiging away. See attached video. What a real Kiddush Hashem. With them, may Hashem give you the coil to continue spreading the light of Torah for all corners of the world. Kultuv Ushi grossness.
1:45.
This is mamish, like probably
morning,
not even
coming
staged.
back from Paris. I'm walking down.
Just to say.
Oh, really?
The Bible says that
everybody can go in on the website. Okay, Rabbi Isai,
he tells his friends,
you're watching now live.
This year,
You can go and chop your room before it's too late. It's kedai to do during shir. You can do it now during the sponsorships. Chaparai, the Masechta for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Parnassa B'revach and Refuah ben Chaya bas Yosef. Parnassa health and strength for Rav Eli. Parnassa the Lakewood family, Lakewood NJ, because Torah is the best segula. Parnassa Yosef and Chaya Sara for Parnassa B'revach. Parnassa Kidnovations LLC. In honor of my uncle Reb Elchanan, Pressman, and Fishel. It should be a zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga, shidduch for Rivka Yehudit Chaya. Thank you to Rebbitzen Stefansky. It should be a zechus. We're here filled with Mazel, Bracha, hatzlacha, Parnassa B'revach and Refuah. Art of the month for zechus for Rav Eli and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. The coffee corner for the week by Yankee Brook. Refuah Shlema, Shoshana Reizel, Bas Chana. She had a large liver issue, 2 years old. Refuah Shlema. Welcome, Rav Chaim Levine again, and I heard you brought a special guest, your nephew.
Yes.
What's his name?
Yerucham Goldberg.
Yerucham Goldberg. I'm not going to embarrass you and ask you for your name in public, but here he is with the yellow sweater. Shalom Aleichem. Thank you for coming. Who else do we have here? Okay, Gevaldik. Oh, hi. Jonah? Light. Well, where do I know you from? I saw you in LA? And from me, you were here a few times. After 2-3 times, that's it. You're not a guest anymore. You know. Third time. That's okay. Oh, Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Chaim Rutenberg. From?
Scheinfeld.
B'Shemesh Scheinfeld. Wow. Okay. You came at the right daf. It's Givaldik daf today. We're holding on Amud Beis, one of the famous Agadatas in Shas. Tana Rabbana. The story. 6 lines from the bottom. Amud Beis. His sons were not on the derech. They weren't off the derech. They were not on the derech. It's lashon akiyah. His sons weren't doing the right thing. So he went and he wrote everything to Yonasan ben Uziel. Who is Yonasan ben Uziel? Anybody remember who Yonasan ben Uziel is? Amuka.
Talmud of the greatest Talmud of Vilazar.
Cesare, because he does Chazara. Sukkah, I think. The birds that flew over him
Greatest Talmud.
would burn.
He was the number one Talmud of Vilazar.
It's a machlokes rishonim, if that's right. We'll get there. But that's today's sugya. He says he's the number one Talmud of. It's a machlokes what it says in the Gemara. Then we're going to get there. We will see. It says he was the greatest. But maybe if that
Zaka was little.
Correct. But the Rishonim discuss if it's the greatest of all the Talmidim or the greatest of that category. He was pretty great.
Give the money to him and not to his kid.
So anyway, somebody gave him a Yerusha. See, it's kedai to be a gadol. You get Yerusha sometimes. Because of the chazal Yonasan ben Uziel. Me'aseh Yonasan ben Uziel. What did he do? Mochar shlish. So he sold a third, raised a little cash. V'higdash shlish. And he gave a third to the Beis HaMikdash. V'hechzer lebanav shlish. This is controversial. The guy is dying. He doesn't want to give a dime to his children. Oy, let me send this to Gary. I just got a great one here. Not a great one, but the Magachir from Lincolnwood, Rebbe Elchanan Feinstein, sent me this. Let me send it to Gary real quick. I've never done this really, middle shir, but it's negate to the shir. Okay, maybe if you could put that in, just as a slide. He's upset at his kids. He wants to show them, teach them a lesson. Why should my money go to you? I'd rather go to the Gal Adar, to the Beis Hamikdash. You'll go to you, you're going to use it for what? For drugs, for all sorts of nonsense. Give it away. Goes Rabbi Yonasan ben Uziel and takes the money and gives it right back to the kids. Is that okay? It says, but there was a certain intent there. Baal of Shammai ben Makla v'Tarmiloi. Now Hillel, Yonasan ben Uziel was a Talmud of Hillel. Shammai, the Bar Plukta of Hillel, comes with his stecken, his stick, his walking stick, Tarmiloi. Oh, he goes on a trip to meet Yonasan ben Uziel and give him a little piece of his mind. What's pshat? How could you do the mitzvah l'kaim divrei hamei, so to speak? There's a mitzvah to do everything a person is about to die acts. He gives you a little akar satayver. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you this because I don't want you to give it to my enemy, and then you go give it to the enemy. It's not so beseder. So Omar Lei, so Yonasan ben Uziel tells Shammai. Notice how in those days, in that dar, their name Moshe Rabbeinu. It's not Reb Moshe Rabbeinu, Reb Yeshua ben. It's Moshe. It's Yonasan ben Uziel, Shammai, Hillel. Imata yochel loitzi. It's mashu macharti, mashu gdashti. That's what Reb Nachman was saying. If it's mine, it's mine. And if it's mine, I sold it. And if it's mine, I gave it to Beis Hamikdash. If you're saying that the condition, I didn't keep my condition, then everything has to come back. Then you have to take the third from the Beis Hamikdash and the third which I sold. You don't want to do that, so then it's mine 100%. Sorry. So then I'll give back. And if not, you cannot take the part that I gave back to the sons. Omar, Shammai says, you beat me. Hitiach alai ben Uziel. You basically, Kimoi hitiach dvarim klap b'mala, Koloimar, heshivani derech b'zoyin, b'nitzchani. You got me good. You beat me. Misad b'dichusu, says the Rashbam. It's like almost like in a joking manner. Hitiach alai, like he realized that he got him good. So says the Gemara, Mikor my Samar. What was Shammai thinking here? Says the Gemara, there's something similar, but not really. You could think it's like Beschayran, but it's not. It's not. There's a story in the place Beschayran. There's someone whose father was in a fight with him and told him, I will not have any benefit from you whatsoever. And this individual was marrying off a kid, and the father couldn't come to the chasana because the father said, I'm mudar anah from you. So he wanted his father to come to the chasana. So he came up with a trick. I'm giving away all my belongings to my friend so that I don't own anything, and the chasana is really my friend's. And he says, I'm only giving to you, my friend, I'm only giving it to you on condition so that my father could come here and eat and be at the chasana. 2 nights ago, right after Shir, one of the Israeli guys from the Shir said, I want to tell you a crazy story. He said he went to his father's house for Sukkot with his wife and his children. He walks in, and his father says, did you bring the money for the esrei that you told me you're going to bring? He says, I forgot. He says, take your stuff and get out of here. Go. You're not here for Sukkot. He says, a few minutes before Sukkot, he says, get out. He says, occasionally his father's a big Talmud Chacham, a very chashav person, but he gets triggered by Yontif with the whole family coming and maybe so he had some trauma back when he was a kid. He threw him out in front of his kids, in front of his wife, in front of everything. And he went to his car and his mother started crying, a whole maisa. And finally he went back in there and didn't speak one word. He says, right now the father just came and said, listen, I messed up. I don't know what happened to me. I lost it. I'm asking Mechila. He says the first time in his life, his father's done this a number of times, but this is the first time that his father, he said, I was not going to talk to this guy forever. There's a guy sitting here in this room that his parents got into a fight with that guy's grandparents, so they fought. This guy in the room has never had a relationship or knew his grandfather, grandmother died already. His cousins don't speak to each other. a huge machlokes in Klal, so huge, where nobody's speaking. Never got to know his grandfather, who happens to be a huge Talmud Chacham, who wrote dozens of Svarim, etc. Never saw him, never garnished. No bar mitzvah, no chatzana garnished. For what? For a little fight, for a little misunderstanding, a little gaiva, a little bad midas, basically. It could be in both parts. Just people not getting along. For what? Father and son, father and daughter. Mind-boggling. Pasha mind-boggling. So, here you have the story in the Gemara. It happens. It happens to the best families. I'm talking about 2 stories of Talmid Chachamim. Not simple Amaratzim. Talmid Chachamim. And sometimes it happens there even more because certain feelings of, do you know who I am? I'm this, I wrote that, and this is how you said to me, and this. Okay. But people have to sometimes, if somebody would have taken a little bit of time, a year into it, say, listen, we got to do something. Okay, he was 100% wrong. You come and you. So then families could be, for Dairis, no talking between any cousins, garnish, nothing, wiped off. One machlokes, right here in the room, sitting here in the room. Zog the Gemara, Omar Loi, Im Shalihein Harei Mugdoshim L'Shamayim. Much like that story in Bnei Brak, I said it many times. Where the guy said, "I'm being mafkir my house for Shemitah, whatever it was." So one of the neighbors chapped it and said, "Okay, it's my house." And then they went to Bezin. So then the Bezin said, since he was mafkir it, so the guy underneath him was kind of b'chatzah. They try to get out of it in something like you want to be particular about a certain hatzlacha. Okay, what do I have here? It's coming in. Okay, I go upon him. The guy says like this: listen, I know you want to make shalom. I'm all for shalom, but not on my account. You want me to be over the avera over here? There's a issa deraisa to invite somebody to your house when he's mudar hanor from you. He's not allowed to step into your house. That's what mudar. It's a thing in the Torah. Neder. Yeah, what? So.
Can you go to base din and matter is matter?
Could, if you have a right thing and they have to find a thing out of it, yeah. It's not so simple. But he tried to do this trick. Does this trick work? You know what? If it's mine 100%, it becomes hegdish. So he says, no, you can't make it hegdish. I didn't give it to you so that you should make it hegdish. I gave it to you so that my father can come to the chasana. I still need a house to live in. So he told him, huh? No, the reason you gave it to me is that you and your father should eat and drink and make shalom. It's a very nice thing, shalom, but not a ma'ay cheshbon. And the sin of neder, you want it to be on me? No way. Amru Chachamim. So Chachamim said, Kol matana she'ena shemigdisha mukdeshes eina matana. So Chachamim came up and said, listen, if this guy is not able to be magdish it, then it wasn't a gift. And if it wasn't a gift, your father can't come to the chasana. Sorry.
He made it clear tonight when he did it. He said, I'm doing it so that my father could come to the suit. I don't understand.
And
to have a meal.
Yeah.
If you tell someone, I'm giving this thing to you out tonight for one specific clear reason, what's that? It doesn't start.
What? Is it a matana or not a matana?
It's a matana, but he's telling him why. They'll come afterwards and say...
It says over here, Kol matana she'ena shemigdisha mukdeshes. If I don't have the ability to make it hegdish, in other words, it's not mine 100%. Eina matana. It has to be mine 100%. Right. So let's talk about it a little bit. So there's a taisis over here. Gershon, I need to get back into the things, please. We'll work on it afterwards. Okay, so Taisus has a kasha over here. What about every time you take a esrog from somebody, and the guy says, "Matana al manas la'achzer." You can't be magdish to the Beis Hamikdash. He's giving it to you for a moment to go like this, and then you give it back to him. You don't have the right during that time to give it. The Gemara just made a statement. Any matana that you cannot make it hegdish, it's not a matana. So then if it's not a matana, it's not my esrog. So I wasn't yoytze. It has to be shalachem, shalcha. So, a better question, and that's what he was basically saying. What if a guy gives a gift and says, I'm giving you this gift, I'm buying you a car. A father tells a son, for your 16th birthday, I'm buying you a brand new sports car. On condition, I know that you love the Beis HaMikdash, on condition you never give it to the Beis HaMikdash. Is that a gift or not? Yes, it's a gift. But the Gemara just said that if you give a gift on condition that you don't give it to the Beis HaMikdash, it's not a gift. Says Taisvus, and here it is. You can look inside. But Taisvus says on the bottom, V'ka'omar b'masnisin. Kol matana shekemaisa b'yischayim. What the Gemara meant to say is, any gift that's like b'yischayim, shahoisa ba'arma, it's tricky, it's a trick. He had no intention to give it to him b'chlal. It was just for one purpose, that his father could go in there. He didn't care for a second. That's what the Gemara means, that it's not a matana. Not that you have to have, it's not a blank statement. You have to have the ability to give it to Hagdish. No. It has to be a real gift. When I give you an esrog, it's 100% a real gift for these 5 minutes. Over here, it wasn't a real gift. There's nothing real about it. It was just so that his father, it's words, just playing with words so that his father could come to the wedding. That's not all right. Zog the Gemara Torah Rabban. Beautiful piece of agad. Shmoinim Talmidim hoyloi lehillel azaken. Hillel had 80 Talmidim. Shloishim mehem ru'uyim shetishra aleim shchina kamosh rabbeinu. 30 of them were so great that they could have had the Shechina like Moshe Rabbeinu. Shloishim mehem, and 30 of them, Ru'uyim shetamid lem chamal kishu benon. There's the famous story in Navi that Ozi dabi Yishua Hashem b'yom teis Hashem es ha'emor l'fnei b'nei Yisrael v'yom elei Yisrael shemesh b'givon daim. Stop. The sun should stop. V'yidem hashemesh, and the sun stopped. So 30 of them could have made the sun stop. They were great enough for that madrega. Now Moshe Rabbeinu also had the sun stop, but he's above. He's the Shechina. That's already a different madrega. Esrim, so we have 60 so far, 30 and 30. Esrim beinonim. 20 are beinonim. No, how do you understand the Gemara? What's beinonim? Greater than stopping the sun, or they're below stopping the sun? Huh? You say greater. And you say, what do you say? How did you learn in Sukkah? Below. Wrong pshat. Beinonim means, I know, that's why I'm asking, because it sounds, the way the Gemara always talks is, it's the two extremes, the top and the bottom, and Beinonim goes in between. So Beinonim are even greater than stopping the sun. They're even greater. Okay, that's why you come here, Ari. There are sometimes chidushim here, not. Godash v'kulon, Yonasim ben Uziel. So like I said before, it's machlokes in the Rishonim, Godash v'kulon of what? Of the entire, all 80? Or of the Beinonim? That's not what Rav Nachman Seltzer said. Okay, it's not so possible. Okay.
The Rifus is everything. Yeah.
Machlokes Rishonim.
Right. So,
Kodesh B'Kulon, I believe the Rashbam says, or Rashi, one of them says that it's the greatest of the Beinonim. Amru Olav, Rebbeinu Gershom. Oh, Rebbeinu Gershom. Amru Olav al Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. So if you notice here, something very interesting just happened. Oh, sorry, I missed.
If it was going on Beinonim, we should say Godosh B'Neihem, because it's right after Beinonim. Yeah. It says Godosh B'Kulon is mashma everything.
Okay.
From the Losh is mashma. Right.
Okay, listen, I'm going to write on the side here. Rebbeinu Gershom says, Azoi, v'omar Reb Nachman Seltzer, lo mistaber Klal.
Just put it right in there.
V'ani akotem choylik al Rebbeinu Gershom.
It's mashma from the words.
I think the Rebbeinu Gershom also learned the same Gemara as you. Right, the Rebbeinu Gershom probably learned it also, and he...
Maybe. We don't understand. We're small. I don't understand.
Right. You say, that's what I want to hear from you. That's all I want to hear from you. Not that this is the mashmos. I don't understand what he's saying.
I understand. This is the mashmos.
I'm sure most of America wants to hear how you understand it.
They do.
Okay, good. And that's why I listen to you.
They told you mic'd up. Mic up.
One guy said it. Don't get all excited. No, a bunch of guys said it. A bunch of guys. But not for the Torah part, I think. Just for your stories. Right, let's go. Now we mechulik on Rishonim. Okay? It's funny. That is funny. Oh, sorry. The smallest of them. The smallest. You hear what's going on? The smallest of the 80 Talmidim, or maybe of the Beinonim. You know what just happened here? They just started putting in these names. Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. Until now it's Yonasan ben Uziel. But in his generation, the youngest of the Talmidim, or the smallest, whatever it is, they started adding Rabban. Today it's Hagoyin HaGodol HaAdir VaMefursam, Rashke Bahag, whatever it is. There's Rebbe, there's Rav, but there's a certain kufa of the Zugas, of the Gdoilei HaTanoim, they were named by themselves. And now starts Rabban. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Who's this Rabbi Yochanan? Amr Allah al Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Shaloyniach Mikra, he didn't have one, mamish like Eitan G kind of. Not even one pasuk did he miss. O Mishnah, and every Mishnah. Talmud is when we have problems like we have in Gemara, like you have a contradiction in Mishnayos, different to infer from a Mishnah, that's Talmud. Halachas, what's halachas? Mishnah Berurah. Halacha leMoshe Sinai, this is what Akadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe on Har Sinai. That's halacha. Like, for instance, Lavud, Doven Akuma, all halacha Moshe Sinai's. Va'agados. Agados. Dikduke Torah. What's Dikduke Torah? If there's an extra vav, let's say, in a word, what do you do with that vav? V'dikduke Seifrim. The gather, the fences that. Why are you sitting over there, Elvis?
I'm waiting for you to say that you want the light to stop.
The who? I just put you. I was punishing you, but I didn't want to put you in the corner in the back. I wanted you to come to the front.
No,
it's timing. I have no idea, but okay. Somebody tell him whatever you want to say. The kal v'chamurim. What's kal v'chamurim? Kal v'chomer. Ugzer shavos. So we know the difference. Kal v'chomer is something that a Tana and a Moira could come up with himself with his own logic. Ugzer shava is something that came from Akadosh Baruch Hu to Moshe Rabbeinu and Har Sinai. Something very specific. Kicham is the Ephraim. Uskufos. The way the sun and the moon work together and Mazelos and all that stuff. V'gimatriyos. So everybody thinks, Gershon, do me a favor, please go back to the thing and forget it for the rest of this year. Thanks. Didn't work. Next. I need this, it's more important. So a gematria, people think, not people think. Rashi in Sukkah says a gematria is like Elio is 52, and so is Kelev and Behema. That's a perfect gematria. Huh? Ben. That's easy. Ben. Who? Glida. It says the Rashbam, this is what a gematria really means. It's when you take a word, it's a nutrika, when you take a word, Ono nafshi kosvis yahavis. The word anoichi means Hashem says, I put myself, kaviyachal, in the Torah. My rotzen is in the Torah. Okay. Huh? Elio is also.
Like an
acronym. That's a gematria. Huh? Donald Trump, Nazi, whatever you put in chat, GPT will come out today. Anybody could be a grois macher. But there's people that you tell them any name, anything, they throw out psukim like on the spot and they're right. It's a certain chachma. Anyway, umishal is koivsim umishal shualim, the famous mashalim that there are for Torah, sichas shedim, to be able to have a discussion with the shedim, and what do you gain from that? You could do different trufas, you could heal with it, or whatever it is. Besichas the column. Rashi says over there that I don't know what these things are. To understand how the palm trees they move and they're discussing discussions. The Rebbe Yehudit says very interesting. He says, "I'm telling you that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai didn't spend his time learning these things." Like he's saying that a person has to be shakur in learning, not in understanding how trees shmooze. Yet when a person is involved in learning, he gets gifts. He starts understanding things. There's a story about Chaim Shmulevitz when he was in the mirror. So they told Rabbi Yerucham that this individual is not learning a Musar like everybody else. So he said he doesn't have to learn Musar. He gets his Musar from the Gemara, and you'll see one day he'll be a big Baal Musar. He'll already write his own Sfarim and Musar. And Rabbi Chaim Shmulevitz says, "Wow, that was a Ruach HaKodesh," because back then, like he was into his learning, and he didn't really think that much about Musar. V'davar gadol, v'davar katan. I love this one. Oh, v'sichas malachi hashares, to understand the discussions of the malachi hashares. V'davar gadol, and great things and minor things. What does that mean? Davar gadol ma'aseh merkava. Oh, a great thing. That's ma'aseh merkava, like Yecheskel, to understand what's going on up there. V'davar katan, havayis da'abaye v'rava. This is a pella. What's a small thing? Abaye and Rava, Shas, the entire Shas. So everybody asks, what does it mean? It's a davar katan. Isn't that life? That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be learning Torah. So Bava Basra says that he asks a question. The guy's walking by a river and he sees a 3-year-old drowning. He jumps into the river with his wallet, with his cell phone, with everything, soaking clothes, comes out with the baby. What did he just do? That's unbelievable. 5 minutes later, he's walking down the street. A guy comes over and says, listen, I can't eat. I have nothing to, what should I do? I need something. So he takes out his wallet, he gives him $20. He says, no. Which one is the davar katan? Which one is the davar gadol? So he says, the davar katan is saving the baby, and the davar gadol is giving the guy $20. Why? He says, there's not a single person in the universe that would walk by a river and see a 3-year-old drowning that wouldn't jump in and get him. And if you keep on walking, something's wrong with you. You have to go in a mental institution. It's not a big chachma. Okay, you did a great thing, but to do it, that's easy to do. He says, but how many people are asked for money and they go, oh, I forgot my wallet. I don't know how to come back later. That kind of thing. That's and you did that. You have the ability to walk away and you don't. That's a davar gadol. So Meli says, with Abayim and Rav, it's pashat. This is life. Can't do without it. It's not big chachma, you're sitting and learning Torah. That's a davar katan. Obviously, it has more chashivas than the ma'aseh merkava for us. To be involved in ma'aseh merkava versus learning. We have to be involved in the havayis of Abayim and Rav. But that's davar pashat that you have to. Everybody has to. Says the Gemara, l'kayim hashenemar, lahanchil oyave yesh, oyava yesh. HaKadosh Baruch says, I'll give yesh. Yesh is 310 worlds for those who I love. V'yitzusayim amale. So there's a Gevaldik Rashbam here. Let me see if I can find it here. Lahagdil oyave yesh. And he says, Oilamos, yesh oilamos, Chaya oilamos, the famous Chaya oilamos. I'll give you 310 worlds. V'kol kach lama. Why does a person get that? Is it for the chesed he does? Is it for tefillah? Because of the Torah that you learned, I'm giving you 310 worlds. Says the Michtav Melio, a gewaldige thing. Says Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai, the Gemara just told us, he knew Mikra, Mishnah, Gadam, Mishalim, Sichas, Dekolim, Shedim, Malach HaSharas, everything. What was he doing all day long? All day long. We know about Reb Chaim Kanievsky, 7 daf and this and that, constantly learning massive. So you can imagine where Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai was. Different level, different generation. With all that, and when he walked in the street, what was he doing? Thinking and learning. With all that, the Gemara says about him, never in his lifetime did somebody ever say hello to him before he was able to say hello to them. Even a guy. Because when he was walking down the street, he was a mensch. And Midas comes first. It's the Michtav Milyo, not me. No, because I'm saying sometimes I walk in the street and I say hello to people and they do like this to me. You know who I am? You know what I'm thinking about right now? It's Kuli Torah. I'm going to say hello to you. Vebistu. You know what I'm saying? Shagits without the beard. I'm not going to say hello to you. Zog the Gemara.
When was the last time that happened?
I'll tell you. So I'll tell you something. A Maisa Shaya. It happens often, he says. I went to a Rav in a shul. I told the Rav in the shul, I said, why don't you guys say hello to me like this? Like I said hello to this guy. So what if you're different? He says, I can't believe it. So the next day, the guy that never said hello back to me, and I tried it 10 times, he goes, Shalom Aleichem. And I go, I promise you. And every single time I see him on Friday night, because we come out of shul, he says the word, and he gave me an invitation to his son's chasana. And I don't even know the guy. The Rav did something over there. I don't know what happened. Maisa Shaya.
They wait to say hello to you.
They wait. Anyway.
Which is a higher
says the Gemara.
saying hello or even giving out the coffee?
So I don't know. It's all part of it. Any midas, making somebody feel, what does it cost money to say hello to somebody in the morning? There's a guy here. He does the streets. He sweeps the streets every morning. Ethiopian guy. I say hello to him. He gets so excited. Harav, boker tov. Screams from the hall. Yeah, why not? What's the big deal? Good morning. Shalom Yisrael.
You ever ask him for a bracha?
No, I don't have time.
Back for a bracha. He'll give you a long bracha.
Really?
Yeah, he's like an Ethiopian rabbi, the Rav, whatever they call it.
Really? Is he Jovan Rabbi?
No,
Okay. Is he religious? Oh yeah, he has tzitzis sometimes, no? I don't know. He's a Rav. Oh, sorry. The famous Gemara. If this is the smallest of the Talmidim, so certainly Yonasan ben Uziel, who received the gift over here, the Yerusha, certainly he knew all this stuff and he did all these things. When he was learning Torah, the Torah was so powerful that any bird that flew over him immediately burnt. We even have a picture of a video of this.
Fire hazard reported ahead. Proceed with caution.
You got Ashi approval.
I'm waiting for a non-Ashi approval. I want him to say one day, that wasn't good. Rav Eli, that wasn't, not to my liking. One day. Yeah. No,
I think according to, this Gemara is brought down twice about Hillel Zaken.
yeah.
I think maybe the other place it says Rebbitzen Stefansky also knew sichas tzipor of birds. It could be right. Rebbitzen Stefansky doesn't, because every time a bird passes by, it burns up. So he never gets a chance to hear the conversation.
There's first of all, I have to tell you this. This is the classic, but we have to say it for those who don't know. The Borchmart Chizrachi was walking to the Kaisel, and a bird did what a bird needed to do on his hat. He takes off his hat. He says, Yosef ben Uziel, when he was learning Torah, every bird that was above him burned. I'm not in that madrega, but at least the bird trembled with fear. I see the Island didn't know that one. There's a chassid in Litvak learning Chavrusa, this sugi, and the chassid tells his Litvish Chavrusa, he says, the Gedusha of Yonasan ben Uziel, the Gedusha. Look, can you imagine the Gedusha? Just any bird just burns. So the Litvak looks at him and says, listen, but Tachlis, is it an Ishim Shum Chitzoi or is it Grama? What is it? Who owes who for the bird? And the Sephardi overheard this whole thing, says, but could we eat the bird? Could you have the bird? Okay. L'maisa, the oilam goes to Yonasan ben Uziel for shidduchim, favos. So Rabbi Yankel Galinsky says, because a lot of times people, when they get too involved in shidduchim, they're there for a while, they have a lot of things that they don't want to compromise on, and they have a lot of things that hold them back. So you go to Yonasan ben Uziel to say that it should be like a oifa pereach. It should be burnt. Burn all your shtusim, burn all your demands, all your stuff, and come nice and fresh into the parasha. And finally, people ask, what about Hillel? If Yonasan ben Uziel burnt the bird, what about Hillel? So some want to say that a Hillel, even if it was more than Dalet Amis, is a different thing. But the Chofetz Chaim once said, I believe he said this, that there was a nida and there was a big conference of some sort. I don't know if it was the Knessia G'dayla or whatever it was, and they wanted to bring women, and there was a big tumult. No women, yes women, mechitza, no mechitza, the whole, it's not appropriate, they should be on the top balcony. So Chofetz Chaim said, look, I could see, sometimes the Talmud, like Yonasan ben Uziel, everything next to him burns. They burn everything, burn. But sometimes the gadol, the one in charge, he has to be calmer, he has to take it in and not burn, and not be as kanoishtik, something like that. Huh? Right? Yeah. Everybody saw. Boom, boom, boom. Huh?
Also remind himself so the world could exist. So he believes
Yeah. Imagine if Hakadosh Baruch Hu didn't do that. Yeah. Says the Mishnah. A person looks at his son and he says, "This is my son, Neman." Oh, so we have a video for this also. It's not the same one as yesterday. Don't get nervous.
My dear sons, I have to tell you that I have another son. What? Why didn't you tell us? Hello! Nice to meet you. Me and my 9 clone brothers. Hello.
Ashi?
That was pretty darn good.
Yeah, I'm not asking you anymore. That's the last time I'm asking you.
If they all said hello at the same exact time.
That would be better. Okay. Ze'achi. I don't know. That might be actually the last time I'm asking you for approval. Ze'achi ain't an M1. But if a person asks you coming to the Shabbaton?
I wish.
Okay.
I wish I could.
Before you know it, some guy watching this is like, "Oh, here's Ashi." No. It's Beseder. I got the approvals over here. Leave it as I. He has a family, has to take care of. I call Beseder. Anyway, what?
Bring his family.
He's got some mishpacha. Okay, maybe.
I'd love to, believe me.
Yeah.
Well, Mashiach's coming first.
That's right.
I know.
So says the Mishnah, if a person says, "This is my son," we believe him. If he says, "This is my brother," we do not believe him. Just what? V'yital imoy bechelkoi. What does that mean here? It's mefurish. Let's say these are the brothers. They're boys' side. Reuven, Shimon, and Levi are brothers. Reuven on the left says he has another brother. So what you do is, the guy that he introduces to everybody else, he must take care of him with the Yerusha. The other 2 brothers don't have to do anything. According to them, he's not a brother. You want to say he's a brother, so Gesundheit, hey, you give him Yerusha, so what do? No way, it's only us 3. So you divide this van in half, in 3s, and the third that this guy is on, he gives him part of his van. It's interesting, yesterday there was a guy, I wasn't paying attention, and I don't think Yoshi did, but there's a guy that comes to this shir, and he has 3 of these vans right behind the shul over here, 3 of them, and he was laughing the whole time. He was like, Givaldi. Yeah, huh? He has 8 of those vans, but not in the parking lot over here. In the parking lot, yeah, because he has a crazy amount of these banged up vans. And he takes from his share, from the brother that is Mace. What if the brother dies? Check this out. Look at this. Chaver Kedisha comes, takes him. So who gets the part that the brother, who gets the dead guy's part? The original guy that gave it to him. The other 2 brothers can't say, "Oh, he had Yerusha, now we're his brothers, let's take it." So what's the chiddush? The chiddush is, what if the little mouse guy won the lottery? Then everybody gets to share in the lottery. It's only that piece of the van that they don't get to share. But if the guy, he won the lottery, then everybody gets, because it's from a different place. What's the big chiddush that this is my son? What's the halacha for? Okay, it's your son. It's my son. My son means you get a Yerusha. And because he has a son, right before he was about to pass on to the next world, he tells his wife, "By the way, I have a son. You're not chayiv in Yibum." Anybody that doesn't know what Yibum is, real quickly, the Baldwin brothers, this guy goes bye-bye, so now this guy has to either marry her or do chalitza. Says Gemara Pshita, so says Rashi, so Nachamo, Liyarshoy Pshita, of course he could say that he's my son so that he could get inheritance. Why? Because if he wants, he could give him a gift today. It's a migu. Says, I was going to say the Rashbam here, and I even printed it. The Rashbam says that Migui only works backwards I'm sorry. From here on out, from here back, for all the nechazim I have. But anything new that he accumulates later, the migui doesn't work. And the difference between that, and you can look at Taisus on top, he just says it in 2 words. Let me just see here. I touched the wrong button by mistake. This one. When it comes to a Bechar, we don't, says Taisus, by Bechar, we know that it's the son, so the question is, does the migui work forwards, backwards? It works. But over here we didn't even know that he has a son, so Mazel it only works from for whatever he has today, but not for the future. I'll go upon him. Says the Gemara, to say that this son, she doesn't have to do yibum, it's richlei. That's why we say for Yerusha it's pasha. I need it for the second part, for the brother. Says the Gemara, Nami Tanina. I know you're all on Shpilkus, Mamish, like Pennsylvania or not Pennsylvania, right? But we forgot about it. We're in a different world now. Tomorrow might be a whole new world. Hanami Tanina. We also learned that it's not a chiddush. A person who says, I have sons, Neman, he's believed. Yeshli Achim, let's say he's one of those people in the 72% that didn't get along with his wife. And he really wants to give it to her right before he dies, like that woman. Oh, he said this is a crazy story. Mazel Chaya. A woman didn't speak to her sister her entire life. Her sister came to say goodbye to her on her last day. So with her last breath, she says, I want to tell you something. And she bent down and she whispered in her ear something. And as she whispered, she bit her ear. And then she died. And then, so there's people that are like that. So this husband, like, as one last shidduch, by the way, I have a brother in Russia. What? And he goes bye-bye. So now, she doesn't have a child from him, and now she needs yibum, but he's in Russia. Where? What? Who? That's it. She can't get married for the rest of her life. Einoy Neman. He's not believed. So we already said Mefurish that if he says when he's dying, I have sons, Neman. So I don't need this to tell me that if he has sons, he's Neman. That she doesn't have to do yibum. He could give her a get, right? There's a, as we'll see soon. Hasam the lemuchzaglam ba'ach, hacha, afagav the muchzaglam ba'ach. The 2 mishnayos are needed, the 2 halachas are needed. One, we don't know that he has a brother. So we don't know that he has a brother, and we don't know he has a child. He might have a child, and he might have a brother. Or he might not have a brother. So what is that called? Sveika. There's 2 sveikas here. Maybe he has a child, and she's patur from yibum. And even if he doesn't have a child, maybe he doesn't have a brother, and she's patur from yibum. So it's 2 possibilities. So we believe him to say that he has a son. But the other case is that we know that he has a brother. So now she's mechuyev in yibum. And even so, he's believed to say, I have a son, and you're patur from yibum. So that's why I need both cases. Says Rav Yosef, in the name of Rav Yehuda, in the name of Shmuel. So Rav Yosef, remember, he later on in his life, he forgot all his learning. And that explains a little bit of the Gemara. What? Oh, I do need to do sponsors. Turn the daf by the Bercovici Family, zechus Klal Yisrael, and by Glenn Esterson, dedicated to Gilad Jacob Israel. Thank you for bringing the daf into my life, Baruch Hashem. Says the Gemara, why did they say that Neman, that if I have this is my son, he's believed, Hoyel Ubal Shomar, Girashi Sishti Neman. He has a migui. Because if he said, there's a halacha somewhere that says that if a husband, he could say, if he would say, Sha'amar Girashi Sishti, he's believed, a person is believed to say he divorced his wife, so and she would be patur from Yibum. So he's also say, he could say now, I have a son, she's patur from Yibum. It's a migui. Omer Rav Yosef. And then Rav Yosef, after repeating this, says, Morida Avram, I can't believe it. Like we say today, Rebbeinu Shalom. It's in this week's Rashi, in the Parsha, it says, Elikei Avram. He talks about that he was Maftiach, Veschel, Goygadol. The people say, Shoyim of Elikei Avram. It's a Lashon, it's a Sprach. Morida Avram. I don't understand this, he says. Toli Tanya b'Delitanya. You're explaining a Mishnah with like a Meroim from later generations. There's a halacha that a husband that would say, Sha'omar Girashi Zishti. It's very similar but slightly different. Omar Rav Yehuda Shmuel, we have to say, says Rav Yosef, what we said is, why is a person believed to say that he has a son somewhere? Not because if he said it, but because today he could divorce his wife right now. As he's saying, I have a son, he could also pull out again and say, I read Mugureshes, and you're not chayav b'ibum. He's not basing it on a halacha that Amoraim said. He's basing it on a migur that you could do right now today. So since you say that you could say this idea of hoyel, since he has the ability right now today to divorce his wife, therefore he's believed to say that he has a son. A husband is believed to say divorce his wife. Let me ask you a question. Eidim come and say this woman was mizana. Says the husband, don't worry about it. She wasn't mizana. I divorced her a month ago. She's not chayiv misa. Believed or not believed?
Not believed.
Huh? You say believed. He says not believed. Givaldi, there's always machlokes. I love it. Hello? No. The answer is he's not believed. Not believed. But over here it says he's believed to say he divorced his wife. So what's the difference? Very good. What's your name again? Mati? Matis? Kuperwasser. Matis says the past he's not believed. The future he is believed. So says the Gemara, Matis, have to remember that. He said the name So what do we do here? Nemon, Nemon. What do we do? Minapach Rav Sheshes biyodei. Rav Sheshes says, Ozalei hoyel de Rav Yosef. If you don't believe that a husband could say, I divorced my wife, so then Rav Yosef who said a husband could divorce right now, it goes flying out the window. So which one is it? Over here it says Neman. Rabbi Yochanan said Ein Neman. Before Rabbi Yochanan said Ein Neman, now he says Neman. In Rabbi Yochanan himself, it's a contradiction. Like Kasha. Check it out, Rabbi Isai. Mamish Yon de Yoima. Who do we have here? Let's zoom in his face. Oh, wow. So we're holding an Alafir. We're holding Alafir. When he says, I divorced her a month ago, he's not believed. But if he says, I divorced her today, he's believed from here on out. Gevaldik, that's Rabbi Yochanan. I'm believed to say, divorced today. Iboilu. But I have one question. This is Gevaldik Sugya. We'll do it in 1 minute. Why not? Somebody said, Trump says, I divorced my wife a month ago. So for the whole month from today back a month, we don't believe him. But could we believe him that he divorced his wife? What is that called? Palgin and Dibura. The first word on top, girashti, I believe. Aleph Nisan, that I don't know about. Mi palgin Dibura or li palgin Dibura. Could we split his words or not in one sentence? Rav Mari, Rav Zvid, Machlokes, Chad Omar palginum, Chad Omar loy palginum, Machlokes whether or not you can split. As the Gemara, crazy story here. Maishna med Rava, and we pass him like Rava all the time. Omar Rava, ish pleni ba'al ishti. A person testifies about his own wife being mizana with somebody else. Now, he's close to his wife, he's biased his wife, he cannot testify about his wife. Believe it or not, we kill the noyef. We trust his testimony. What is that called? Palgina dibura. We believe him on half. I believe that Ruvain is a noyef. He's over an ish. With who? That I don't know about. I'm not going to listen to that it was his wife, because he's biased his wife. But I believe 100%, together with another aide, that he was mizana. So you see, Palgina Dibura. Right? It's a crazy case. How? How does this work? Lahar guy, veloy lahar guy. We kill the guy and not the woman. Says Gemara, betray gufe Palgina, and unbelievable. And the Rashbam sticks in one word that explains the whole thing. I believe this guy 100% when it comes to Reuven. And I don't believe it when it comes to Shimon. So I'm not dividing his words. I believe him 100% on a whole part. Mashenkin over here, we want to take his words and split in one person. Was this woman divorced or not divorced? In that one lady, I want to say that she's divorced, but not from Nisan. Okay, that you can't do. That's Pagin Dibura Boisai. Have a wonderful day. And Psuras Toivus the Klal Yisrael.